I think I saw it go. Let me make sure. Hold on,
go.
everyone. I saw it go. Okay, just making sure. Hi, everyone. It's Saturday. You know what we get to do on Saturday. Get to be right here all about your miracle at the Rythmia Life Advancement Center. I'm Kim, Stanwood, Terranova. It's good to see you again. I have two gems of individuals that have been with us here all week. This is Mark and Juji, and they've been in class every day. I've been so blessed that they've shown up for class every day, and they've shown up for every part of Rythmia. So we have the blessing of have them expressing to you all that mostly all, whatever you wish to share of what you experienced. So thank you two for saying yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
for
welcome, and thank you.
Absolutely. If I started class this way a lot. So if you had one word that you would say your week was, what would that be? What would your week at Rythmia, if you were to describe it in one word, be? You get to say a lot more, but let's start there.
Amazing.
Light is my word. Light as a feather and bright as light.
Beautiful. So tell us more about that, and then we're going to come to Juju's amazing.
Yeah. So I think one of the challenges or obstacles in my life is the critical mind, judging myself, judging others. It's constantly interrupting my experience with another and connecting with another. And so I think a large part of this week was about actually peeling that back and quieting that critical mind and judging mind to allow me to be connected to others, both participants, you, others here, and just a freedom in that. That's
something all of us, every single one of us, can relate to, is that whatever we name it, the critical mind, the judgment that rises up for ourselves and others. So to even quiet that, I mean, just a saying that, the thought of, I could quiet that. Mark, how do you, I don't want to say how, what do you know moving forward of how that will shift in your life? What will that do in your life?
So it's not that the thought won't come, right? It just doesn't get stacked upon. It doesn't, it's well, I'm not saying that isn't going to happen. If I had to go and speak in front of 100 people right now, I might have a very critical mind about what to do next. But I know that that's part of the condition, my human condition. It's part of my human condition in that separate space, right? That when it's quieted, I can more easily realize how we are all connected.
Beautifully said. When it's quieted, I could realize how more we are so connected.
Yeah.
Love that. No wonder his word was light and bright, right? Love that. Good. I'm accepting this forevermore. And you're going to be interrupting it because you know more now.
Yeah. It's acceptable. Whatever the, one of the things that happens while we're here is getting in touch with our child, our little one, and whatever those experiences were that kind of fostered, shyness or judgment or critical, whatever that condition was, whatever fostered that, I can remember being excited about life and being, told to be quiet, or that's the wrong behavior for this situation. And so it became this, well, what is the situation that I have to navigate, right? So it became a very, a very controlled experience, therefore not freedom and expression and connection, and more internal about myself versus who I'm with and how I'm connecting with others, right?
Yes.
It's big for me.
It's beautiful and well said that so much occurs when we're in those little bodies as children that we carry on. And it feels to me at Rythmia that we clean that, that we clean those wounds that occurred from whatever age each of us were, that something went down, and it could, as we've known, could be super small, could be really big, but we have an opportunity to clean them to get back to a light and amazing and know, this is where I get to live.
Yeah.
So how would you reference, Juji, your amazing? What do you feel was amazing about Rythmia? What do you feel you live with moving forward?
So amazing is expansive, whatever is the word, right? So that's why I used that word, just that's what came, because it was so rich in so many ways. So it was deep, it was soulful, and it still is. And then it's also uplifting, so that lightness that you're talking about. So amazing, just kind of had that width that I needed to have in one word. And so what I really reconnected with, or connected with ever so deeper than ever before, right, is peace. Peace in my heart and ease in my life. That's a little mantra that I take away. Peace in my heart, ease in my life, and to live from there. And it's both has this dimension of deep, and it also has this expanded, connected, just, hard to put into words what that is. But for me, it's very much connected to the night sky, and like a big smile as wide as the infinite, right? And a softening, being in peace with everything. And there's a lot of love in that, right? Like love and peace intertwined, like the two cannot exist without the other, it feels to me. So that was huge for me. And this is something that, so I came here to find my calling, my true purpose. And I was so confused prior to coming here. I was just so stuck and confused, and I was trying to think about, like, what is it that I need to do? What is it that I need to step into? And I just felt blocked and distant and uninspired. And so finally, I know it. I know what it is. I know that
So you caught it here?
Yeah. And then also there were clues. As I'm looking back, there were clues all over. But I couldn't, because of this layer of, the ego talk and my parts that were trying to effort things or control things or judge or fear judgment, right?
Sure.
They all were getting in the way. And so it was just so amazing to see that spirit was there all along. I am spirit. I'm one with spirit. It was there. Like, there's that image that they often say, in the sand there are two footsteps, and sometimes the footsteps disappear. God tells you, I was there with you all along. I knew that, and I always intellectually liked that saying or example, but it took on a whole new meaning, because I have a felt sense of it now in my body, in my soul, that it has always been with me. It always will be with me. And even when things get difficult, that's okay. But I also know now through this practice how to find my way back to it, drop back into it. And whether that means coming back here, which I would love to, and we're planning to.
Good. I want to be here then. Just putting it in there.
So, so I know that this is available. I was very tentative about plant medicine before, and ayahuasca in particular, because I kept hearing about the physical purging aspect of it, and I was not keen on that. But what I was going to share about it is that someone said it, one of the shamans said, it can be a sweet purging, like a sweet vomiting. Like, it just feels good to let go. And that really stayed with me. So vomiting and purging, it changed my relation to it, right?
Oh,
so
beautiful.
And again, doesn't mean that it's not hard when you are in it or with it, but I just accept it.
So well said. Our perceptional, like our windows can change when we have a different experience. So whatever you felt uncomfortable about coming to do, then when you surrender to it, you have this whole different experience now, which brings the peace and the love. But that took such courage to come. I think it just takes courage to come to rythmia, but courage in a good way, like that courage of self-love, because it's such a depth of self-love that you're giving yourself to come here. So I just have to ask, because you two together, how do you feel like being here together assisted in your relationship? Tell us about that. Or did it change anything, shift anything? What would you say?
No, I thought it enhanced our relationship by being here together. It was very, so I know that we all have charges and programs that we're resolving. And the notion that that they don't exist, that the ego is protecting yourself from all of that, is a fallacy in life experience. And when you surrender to being willing to release charges and programs and conscious and unconscious beliefs and decisions that we've made over our lifetime about a lot of things, I think it's freeing in that. And so in our relationship, I feel, even more sound. There's, with the whole thing about criticism or the critical mind, a lot of that lived in the space of relationship and has it over my lifetime. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? Am I being the right, spouse and so forth, right? That just starts to melt away. That there's a connection without all that oversight. Let's call it oversight of how you should be with another and how you should behave and what you should do. All of that just like fades away. When, I would think the biggest part of it is being able to love yourself.
Yes.
All of it.
Yeah.
Then you can really truly be with someone else.
It just enhanced you too. I love that.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful to know your relationship keeps getting to be more enhanced and more, like there's never a cap to it.
Right.
The more you two
That's right.
individually evolve, right, and shift and grow and know more, then your relationship just gets to keep growing in connectedness and being present with one another.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, how would you answer that question?
Yes to that, right? Everything you said. And hold on, it escaped me for a moment. But first of all, I'm just so grateful to have a partner like Mark, that we can grow and seek out these experiences together. And having gone through this very particular ceremony and ceremonies, like Rythmia has a very unique structure and flow. So having gone through that together, it just feels so much easier than if I had to go home and explain to him all the different things and concepts and framework, right? So there's that piece, right? Like we get to go home and expand together and plan our practices together that you taught us, the practices that will be very important going forward. So yes, I think that's just a big piece that I feel so grateful for. And also, we already said this in some ways, but we were both taken care of so beautifully by staff here. I mean, amazing people. Like I heard people say they're angels, and truly they are celestial beings. I mean, and what it allows, not only personally to be safe for me, but because my partner was here and we were encouraged to be at separate places during the ceremonies, and that's what we did. Some couples choose to stay close to each other. That even though I was in very vulnerable states, I think you would say the same. You didn't have to feel like you have to catch me when you are going through something. Or, I didn't have to catch him. I trusted the medicine, because you get to trust the medicine as you take it, that he's okay.
Yes.
And that I can care and love, but not from whether it's a dependent place or
you don't have to fix
an
him.
ego. You don't have to fix. That's right. Correct. Just trust that he's where he needs to be. Like I don't need to do anything. Truly, I can let go. Just witness him.
Yes.
Just witness you. Yeah.
And that requires that depth of trust of each other, of spirit, to know, I know you're okay over there, and silently to send messages of, I'm right here doing what, and he's cared for and you're cared for, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I love how you said that. I want to ask you a question, because you touched on the structure of Rythmia. What would you two say that you appreciate about the structure of Rythmia? Because we do have a program that we ask people to go through the classes, and you two, in my observation, followed that. I was like, and here they are. I'm so glad you're right here. So what would you say about that? The importance of it, how you felt about it?
Yeah, I'm so grateful for everyone who anchored into us. Go to every class, like just go, just show up. Even if you're half awake and you don't even know who you are, just go. And I'm so grateful I did. I mean, there was no class that was not relevant or important in some way, whether it's the teaching and the teachers that they shared or other participants keep sharing throughout the week. So yeah, I'm really grateful.
Important structure.
Yeah.
Mark, what would you
yeah.
say to that?
So yeah, I think I did miss the yoga classes after the ceremonies
Because they're so darn early in the morning.
yeah, I was going to sleep at 4 a.m, and then I didn't make it to the yoga. But other than that, I think that it was well. There was a very good cadence of activity from one experience to another, whether it be breath work or your class, and and just the integration sessions were very informative as to what to expect, how to approach each day here.
Yes.
And so I thought it was very well structured, and there was enough downtime to have lunch and meet people and talk to them, but it was also, not a day at the beach, right? It wasn't a day at the
There's
beach.
no days at the beach here. You get a little time, but it's not a whole day.
You could
Yeah.
have.
So I really appreciated the selection of coursework and introduction, because they're all touching on the same journey that one is on in terms of addressing what it is you're here for, what is the miracle that you're looking for in your life, what do you need to, what will you discover about yourself that gives you the opening that you need to express yourself fully.
Yes. So I could safely say you both received your miracles this week.
Yes.
Don't you love that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing. Before I got it, I was like, well, then I know maybe it's, my intellectual mind was thinking maybe it's like a big personal growth event and yeah, it will be meaningful. But no, when you get it, you know it. Like, wow.
It drops in.
It drops in.
Oh, that's what. And I had to say something you said earlier that I loved. That you said the signs were there the whole time. I love that.
Yeah.
That prior moments to even coming to Rythmia, that in your lives, that remember when you came to class and said you're in answered prayer right now. Like Spirit's been listening to you because you got to Rythmia. But that you can see clearly, like, oh, those signs were there while I was on my journey, and this was part of it. This was like all those prepared me to receive the miraculous moments that you received here. That gets to just keep leading you onward. That all that you received here prepares you for when your next integration into home. So before I wrap us up,
and that's why also the classes are important.
Yes,
because they really, prepare you for the return, right? And also there's enough repetition of the concept so that when I was with the medicine, which takes you apart. I mean, whatever. It's hard to explain what that means, and it's different for everyone. But those intentions or the questions that are suggested we ask were with me. Like, or Johnny, who was our teacher throughout this week, like just his spirit and energy was there with me, helping me, as a guide. So just that's another reason I think to go to classes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, what are those practices you're going to have in alignment when you get home? I just want to know.
So,
because you made reference to them, and that makes me happy.
Yeah. So we have been inconsistent. I have been inconsistent in some of my practices, but meditation and yoga for sure. I'm going to add breath work, 5 minutes of breath work at least, and because it's just amazing that we don't use our breath to ground ourselves more often. It is something that's available at any moment. It is. It has assisted me in my daily practice of life. Anyways, I know that stopping for a 3-minute grounding and breathing always does that.
Yes.
But I haven't made it as rigorous as I'm going to make it now.
Beautiful. Yeah. Love that. Shushi, what are you going to add to yours?
Stillness. Ideally building up to at least an hour. But with that said, if I don't have right away the time, at least, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, stillness. And then either nature time and or actually particular the night sky, to the point I'm planning to get a really warm what is it called? But you sleep in tents,
Sleeping
sleeping
bags.
bag.
Yeah.
And because in
that.
Boston, we are
I
going back to
love
Boston,
that.
it's cold. Because I promised that I will go to the night sky.
Ah.
And it will be challenging in the city. So whatever I will have to do, you know, I will
We're
have
gonna
to
wrap
find
you
it.
up warm.
But I'm
and
going
Get you
to.
out there.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
beautiful.
So I forgot two
So-
additional
Yes.
things: acknowledgments
Good.
and intentions.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
That makes
yeah,
me
that's right.
so happy. Good.
So those are so
Yes.
powerful. I was, I'm very intrigued by the language of intention and how that works, and how the words that we use in our intention is so important. And so, I want to explore that. Then that acknowledgement is just acknowledging all of the great things that occur. I mean, I see miracles more than I've ever had in my life recently. I think of getting something and then it shows up.
Exactly.
And somebody comes or somebody calls me. I need to talk to somebody. They call me. So, realizing that and,
Yes.
and not acknowledging all of those. And I have my son got me a little book for, to write down your gratitudes every
Yes.
day. And so I'm not consistent with that. Right. So I
Up
have it
until
in
this
my,
minute.
up until this minute.
That just changed.
Yeah.
That just changed.
Exactly.
I love that. When
Yeah.
we take the moment to be aware of what you just said, oh, I was thinking about that person they just called. Lots of times in life we'll think, oh, that was just a random thing. It's
Yeah.
so not.
No, it's not.
It's
random.
a knowing, and we give it attention, acknowledge it. We just open the door for more to happen and more to occur. It's always preparing that soil in our consciousness for, okay,
Yeah.
I'm ready to receive more because I caught all that.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
It's a
All
great. I think it's a great daily.
I
practice.
can't wait to hear all about it. I can't wait to see. Look at those acknowledgments popping up.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah, we'll
All
ask
right.
each other.
Yes.
One last question. What would you say to anyone who's thinking about coming to Rythmia but not quite sure? What would you say to them? Please let them know.
What I would say is that if you are thinking about it, you're already exploring that possibility in your life, and that I would suggest that the restriction in not committing is what you need to go through. That's what needs to happen.
Restriction. Perfect. Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, well said. yeah, and if you haven't called yet, the staff, call, talk to them. And I think there's some great videos too.
Yes.
That could be helpful to watch. But like you said, whether it's gonna happen now or a year from now, you will be here. So just know that, as you said, if the calling is there, the medicine is calling you, and don't delay. If you can, do not delay.
That's so great. Don't delay. Could
Yeah.
you just join us as these two beauties have? Because they will be back, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They will be back, and
Already.
I will have the
Already.
honor of
Yeah.
having them in class
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Thank you two.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much for being here. Thank you
Thank you.
for sharing your hearts
Thank you
and your
for
love for
including
what
us.
it's my joy.
Mm.
All right, everyone, have a beautiful Saturday. We're so glad you could tune in now or whenever you watch this video. And if you have questions, I'll see you next Saturday. I'll see you anytime. I'll see you at Rythmia. Ciao for now.
Bye.